Powerful backing vocals. We all know what they are, but how do we arrange them and produce them so they make our lead vocal shine and our track come alive? Let's take a look at it. Let's start at the beginning. Of course, every style requires something different, but I've chosen this track because it's based around a really strong lead vocal track. And even with a strong lead vocal track, I wanted to enhance it and make the lead vocal shine even more so by adding certain backing vocals. So here's a track with the artist Coleen McMahon. I will attach a link beneath, and if you like it, you can check it out. But anyway, let's take a look at how it's built. It starts in a very personal and simple manner with a piano and a lead vocal. So in the beginning, I want to introduce the lead vocalist and get the listener used to the sound of the vocals without any distraction.
What is it gonna take to change? How many times can I be saved?
So we want to really introduce the lead vocal and make it stand out so we know for the rest of the song who to listen to, who is in charge here, who's the center of the stage, if you will. But the second verse comes around, I like to introduce a couple more things so we don't get bored. So there's instrumentation coming in.
One more whiskey, one more heartache.
All right, so what could we do here? We could embellish the lead vocal with just adding a few more tracks. So here, we just have doubles. And when we do doubles, I often like to use them in a slightly different vocal style. For example, breathy and not as full. And I like to double them so they don't get in the way, and I can pan one left and one right away from the lead vocal, which is in the center, traditionally speaking. So here, these are breathy backing vocals. But what are they actually? They come from just two doubles that add a little extra color to the lead vocal.
Heartache, I never knew anything other than running away.
So, not a lot of distraction here.
One more whiskey, one more heartache.
You might not even notice them if you don't pay attention, but they add color and richness. When it gets a little thicker here is in the first chorus. Not only do I bring in instrumentation, let's just play the vocal against the instrumentation, which adds strings and guitars and a bass.
Sometimes you have to be broken to let a little light, and you're open to change.
Can we really hear them? Do they make a difference? So let's solo these two, backing vocals and lead vocal.
Sometimes you have to be broken to let a little light, and you're open to change. Change. Sometimes you have to be broken.
So let's play it with and without those backing vocals and see if they really help us feel more what's going on in the track. So without.
Sometimes you have to be broken to let a little light, and you're open to change.
Let's add them on.
Change. Sometimes you have to be broken to let a little light in.
A nice little flavor to that section. So every 8 bars or something new happens, and we can introduce new elements to the music because the listener gets used to what's going on. So an element of surprise without overloading the listener. How are these built, these backing vocals? They usually consist of pairs. So here we have two very light vocals, and you see they're panned away from the center. They're just here to give the lead vocal a little richness. So if I play with the vocal,
sometimes you have to be broken.
They make it a little richer. And we have a higher one, all very breathy, and so they fall nicely behind the lead vocal.
Sometimes you have to be broken to let a little light in.
So you notice that I play here a mix of these. Because what I do is I lay them out, I record them, I pre-mix them, I set them in the right space. I add EQ and compression to each track. And then I add effects via buses like reverbs and things. And they go to a vocal bus. And the vocal bus has also effect on them. And then I take all these once they are in the right place and I make a mixdown. So I might select this section and I'm going to go bounce these as a file. And then I have them as a group, because for me they are a group. For me they are one instrument and not 8 different singers. Not only is that easier for your brain, but you can also affect them again. So if they were to be too rich, or you want to have more warmth, or thin them out to make an even more distance, you can do that very easily now because they are consolidated into one file. So I create my backing vocals and then often consolidate them into one file. The big change occurs in the next chorus and the final section here in the song, where it gets really rich. So here she goes up in range.
Sometimes you have to be broke.
As opposed to before, where she was an octave below. So when she goes up there, we have room to put vocals underneath that to support her. She doesn't sound thin by any means, but it's nice to have a bit more richness in the vocal sound by adding lower vocals. So here I have ms. And we have harmonies for her.
Sometimes you have to be broken, a little light.
And you can hear that there's a slightly different sound than the lead vocal, which is more centered and fuller sounding. But together,
Sometimes you have to be broken, a little light. Sometimes you have to be broken, a little light. And you're open to change.
and we wouldn't think there are that many vocals going on, but if I look at them, they're bundles of 6 or 8 vocals mixed together into a group. So here's one.
Sometimes you have to be broken.
And then we have the ms going on. And so I blend them again, I mix them together, sort of with the sounds or vocals that belong together, and then I have 2 stereo files.
Sometimes you have to be broken.
And then they can be blended more easily or EQ'd and compressed behind the lead vocal.
Sometimes you have to be broken.
I'm going to play a track without the backing vocals, just this and the music. We can see what it sounds like.
Sometimes you have to be broken, a little light.
Let's add the backings with the lyrics that double her.
Sometimes you have to be broken, a little light.
Let's add the ooze.
Sometimes you have to be broken, a little light. And you're open to change. Change.
And that creates a bit more of a choir effect, a gospel effect, if you will, which I think makes us feel the track more. Because vocals, after all, are the human element, and we connect to them. For the final section, I wanted to go even a step further, which the lead vocal then becomes just an ad-lib vocal track, and the backing vocals sort of take over. And for that, we had these huge gospel-y kind of vocals going into the last section. So let's listen to with everything first. So lots of vocals, but even there it's hard to say how many vocals are really going on. And if I break it down, it comes to quite a bunch. The lead singer Coleen sang 8 or 10 of them on top. And I sang some lower ones. It's also nice to mix different voices in backing vocals. If you ever try to record a clap, it doesn't sound quite right if you use the same hands 4 or 8 times. But if you have different hands with different resonance, different sounds, it makes the clap much richer. The same with a choir or strings. So here, my vocals, much lower, but together, give it a nice richness. I again laid them out, cut out the noises, created crossfades as we need them. If you double things like that, the change the G was a big issue, and so I had to fade out quite a bit to make them not pop too much here. And then mix together in the track. And that's it. I think it adds a lot of flavor and power to the track, depending on the music, of course. You can do it sparingly, or you can do it full, like in a big pop track or this kind of more traditional arrangement. So maybe that gives you some ideas, but start with a good lead track and then start building up as the song evolves with more layers. If it gets too complicated, mix them down into submixes and files that you can then more easily handle inside the mix. You can always go back and remix them if they are not quite right. So I hope this made sense and you picked some good ideas for your own tracks. If you want to dig deeper, feel free to check out my Udemy course, link beneath, where we write and produce a song from the very beginning to the very end. In any case, have a great day, stay creative, and thanks for watching.